Hello, everyone. We are reading in your history book starting on page 33 and ending on page 35. The airplane. A Greek myth tells of a boy named Icarus who made a pair of feathered wings and learned to fly. His father warned him not to fly too high, but Icarus did anyway. He got too close to the sun, and the wax holding the feathers on his wings melted. The boy fell from the sky into the sea. The first flying machines. In more modern times, there have been other people like Icarus. They dreamed of flying, but with much the same results. In England, about AD 1050, a man named Elmer made some wings from linen stretched over wooden frames. He went to a high tower and pushed off into a fair wind. After flying almost an eighth of a mile, he crashed. He broke his legs and was lame for the rest of his life. Later, people tried to glide on the air currents rather than fly like birds. Around 1890, a German man named Otto Lilienthal made gliders. Gliders are machines that fly without engine power. His gliders looked much like birds' wings and tails. In fact, he made 16 kinds of gliders and tried over 2,000 flights with them. He never could stay in the air for longer than 15 seconds. But he helped prove that flying might not be an impossible dream after all. Other people were also trying to make flying machines. Octavio Newt, an American, had seen Lilienthal and his gliders. Newt returned home full of ideas for a better glider. He made one with rubber joints so that the wings could move with the wind. Samuel Langley, head of the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C., was building a flying machine that he called an aerodrome. His aerodrome had a gasoline engine. Small models of the aerodrome had flown quite well. For one demonstration, Langley's great aerodrome, with Charles Manley as its pilot, was set to launch off the top of a houseboat on the Potomac River. But instead of flying, the great aerodrome lurched and slid right into the water. The newspapers jeered at Langley's soggy flying machine. The next day, the New York Times claimed that man would not fly until scientists had worked for another 10 million years. 2 months later, however, the newspaper would be proven wrong. On a windy beach in North Carolina, two brothers were about to change the world beyond anyone's wildest expectations. The Wright idea. When Orville and Wilbur Wright were boys, their father bought them a toy helicopter made of paper, cork, and bamboo. They played with the bat, as they called it, until it completely wore out. Then they used it as a model to make other toy helicopters that were bigger. Later, Wilbur said it was the bat that caused him and Orville to become interested in flying. When Orville was 17, he made his own printing press and set up a shop. Business was good and he had to hire a helper. Wilbur and Orville also had a bicycle repair shop. This business became so large that they had 4 shops running. The brothers put their hired helper in charge of the print shop and they began to design bicycles. Then, during the winter when the bicycle business was slow, Wilbur and Orville used their tools and knowledge in their lifelong hobby, making a flying machine. The Wrights wanted to know all that they could about flying, so they wrote to the Smithsonian Institution. They received a list of books, some written by Langley and Newt. The Wrights wrote to both men and received replies. Before long, the Wright brothers and Newt were good friends.